Hello all. In continuation of the last lecture, we are going to see some topics on radiation heat transfer. First thing, we are going to see the three rules associated with shape factor. First one is summation rules. Summation rule is nothing but F11 plus F12 plus F13 equal to 1. I am explaining this with a small example, and now consider there is a surface, and above that surface, this surface is insulated, and above this surface an object is placed, and a hemispherical enclosure is placed here. This is object number 1, this is object number 2. Now the object number 1 will emit radiation in all directions, right? So now the energy leaving from the surface 1 and received by the surface 2 is known as F12. Similarly, the energy leaving from the surface 1 and received from the surface 1 is F11. Now the F11 plus F12 becomes 1. That is 100% of the energy. If in case the object 1 releases 100 kilowatts energy or 100 watts energy, 80 watts of energy is received by the surface number 2 and 20 watts of energy is received by surface number 1 itself. So the total radiation becomes 100 watts. Similarly, F11 plus F12 becomes 1. So like that, if you consider three surfaces, then F11 plus F12 plus F13 becomes 1. Then the second rule is reciprocity relation. The reciprocity relation is nothing but A1, the surface of the object number 1, and F12 is equal to surface of the object number 2 into F21. Then the third rule is superposition rule. It is nothing but F of 1 to 2, 3 is equal to F of 1 to 2 plus F of 1 to 3. Now I can explain this with simple diagram. Consider a triangle like this. Okay, this is surface number 1. Up to this, from this point to this point, it is called as surface number 2. And up to here, from this point and up to here, it is surface number 3. Now consider that the surface number 1 is emitting radiation in this direction. Okay, in this direction it is emitting radiation. Now the F1 to 2, 3 is nothing but the total amount of radiation which is emitted from the surface number 1 and received by the surface number 2, 3. So this is called as F1 to 2, 3, which is equal to you know that this is surface number 1, this is 2, this is 3. So from 1 to 2 is this region, plus I am again constructing a triangle, and this is surface number 1, this is surface number 1, this is 2, this is 3, from 1 to 3. So this region plus this region becomes this one. This is called as superposition rule, right? So with all these rules we will solve some problem. Let me take the first problem. Calculate the shape factor for the following. Calculate the shape factor for the following. For the first case, I am taking this one. This drawing will be given. So this is object number 2 and it is enclosed by object number 1. So this is insulated, right? This is insulated and the surface number 2 inside is insulated. So now you know that from the surface number 2 there will be radiations, that radiations will be absorbed by surface number 1. Similarly, from the surface number 1 there will be radiations which will be absorbed by surface number 2, right? So now you have to find out the shape factor F12 or F21. Now we know that the radiation energy which is emitted by the surface number 2, all the radiation emitted by the surface number 2 will be absorbed by the surface number 1. So F221, the energy emitted by the surface number 2 and received by the surface number 1 is equal to 0, is equal to 1, because all the energies will be absorbed by surface number 1. And also from the above 3 rules you know that F11 plus F12 equal to 1. Again you know that A1 F12 equal to A2 F21. All these things you will be known from the above 3 laws. From this law I am going to calculate F12 equal to A2 divided by A1 F21. Okay, now consider this as the equation number 1. So now 1 becomes, I am going to substitute F12 as this equation here. So F11 plus A2 divided by A1 F21 equal to 1. Now F11 equal to 1 minus A2 divided by A1 F21. You know that F21 equal to 1. So it becomes 1 minus A2 divided by A1. So the result will be F11 equal to 1 minus A2 divided by A1. This is one result. And F21 equal to 1. This is second result. And F12 equal to A2 divided by A1 F21. Right? This is the third result. Okay, this is the answer for first case. Now I am going to solve the case number 2. In case 2, the thing is like this. So outer surfaces are insulated. Okay, I am going to take this as surface number 1, this as surface number 2, this as surface number 3. Since it is flat surfaces, once the surface is flat, the energy emitted from this surface will be in this direction, and there will be no chance F11 will be a number. That is, there will be no chance the energy emitted by this surface will be absorbed by the same surface. It will not happen for a flat plate. So for a flat plate, F11 equal to 0. Similarly, if I consider this as the surface number 2, then F22 equal to 0. Now the surface number 1, surface number 2, surface number 3, all these are flat plates. So you know that for flat surfaces F11 equal to F22 equal to F33 equal to 0. Similarly, we know that from the rules F11 plus F12 plus F13 equal to 1. So if you substitute F11 equal to 0 here, this equation will become F12 plus F13 equal to 1. Okay. Then for a symmetry triangle, F12 equal to F13. This is what the superposition rules says. So F12 equal to F13 and F12 plus F13 equal to 1. Then you can substitute in this equation you can substitute F12 plus, instead of F13 I can substitute F12 equal to 1. So F12 becomes 0.5. Here 2 F12 equal to 1 and F12 equal to 0.5. Similarly, you know that F12 equal to F13. So F13 also 0.5. Now consider surface number 2. From surface number 2, F21 plus F22 plus F23 equal to 1. Already we know that F22 equal to 0 and this term becomes 0, and F21 plus F23 equal to 1, right? So F21 equal to 1 minus F23. I can rewrite this equation like this. Now by reciprocity theorem, by reciprocity rule, we can know that A1 F12 equal to A2 F21. Here F21 equal to A1 divided by A2 F12. Since it is symmetrical triangle, A1 equal to A2. So this term becomes 1, and F21 equal to F12. F21 equal to F12. The F12 value is already we find out, that is 0.5. Now I am going to substitute this value here, right? So if we substitute this value F21 equal to 0.5 here, F21 equal to 1 minus F23. Since it is equal to 0.5, then F23 also becomes 0.5. So this is another answer. F23 equal to 0.5. Similarly, F21 equal to 0.5. So here F21 equal to 0.5. Okay, then the result will be F11 equal to F22 equal to 0, and F21 equal to F12 equal to F13 equal to F23 equal to 0.5. Okay, thank you all.